Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Escape Pod. Thank you so much for escaping with us. That's Andrew, and I'm Alex.
And as always, with great power comes great. Coy is back ability, baby.
I believe Coy is officially our longest tenured guest on YouTube. This is his 4th appearance on our YouTube channel.
And it shall not be the last.
Oh, I want that SNL 5 jacket, but Escape Pod edition.
Anytime something big in the nerd world, anytime something big happens, we're like, I want to talk to Coy about this. Let's go talk to Coy.
We got Man of Tomorrow next year. We got the Batman 2. Like, we're just getting started, gents.
So we got a lot of X-Men news. We got Spider-Man that just came out. X-Men 97 just ended. Doomsday. So we're going to talk about all that. We got an agree or disagree we might do. We got a couple brackets. One maybe we'll do on the Patreon.
Yes.
Bracket of comic accuracy movies and a bracket of upcoming projects. So Marvel, DC, random movies. What are we most excited for? We'll do a whole bracket of that on the Patreon.
Exactly.
But what shall we start with? Just talking about stuff?
I say we start with what just ended, X-Men 97. We can start out with, what did you think of X-Men 97 Season 2, Coy?
I thought it started incredibly strong and then wavered for me about halfway, and then it kind of went on enough B plots and C plots. I assumed the summation would feel more like resolute, but then when it didn't, I think overall the feeling was, this is good, but not great. And I think the show is, you see the greatness in it. I think there's so much DNA right under the surface, but I think it was a really tricky situation that was kind of the inverse of Daredevil Born Again. I think Daredevil Born Again had a messiness in Season 1 that then came together incredibly in Season 2, but 1 is still good, 2 is just exceptional to me, and X-Men 97 was kind of the opposite, where the messiness happened between 1 and 2 and kind of went the other way. So now I have a lot of faith in Season 3, because I think now they've gone through their growing pain season. I just think that when you start with a growing pain season like Daredevil, it's a little easier to be like, okay, I see where we're going. This had the trickiness of like, it happened like their sophomore season set was a little bit messier because of the circumstances that had their control. Everything felt like it was going a very specific direction towards Onslaught. Everything felt like it was going towards a certain momentum, and then I feel like the Gambit stuff was supposed to be like a mid-season element and not a finale. It didn't feel like a finale. It felt like it was a piece of something to me.
I felt like that a little bit in Season 1 as well. I think the Apocalypse Gambit stuff was pretty strong. I don't think that the highs of we said this on our last episode. The highs of Season 2 do not reach the highs of Season 1 even in the slightest. I mean, the Genosha episode is untouchable. But I kind of found myself enjoying the second half of Season 2 a little bit more than the second half of Season 1 because I think it was a little bit more messy in Season 1. But they're both good.
I think they're both
good.
We're talking about like, oh no, an amazing X-Men show that isn't quite the heights of like. It's still, I think, better than the original 90s series, which is insane because the original 90s series was so formative. So we're talking like, oh no, it's an A- B+ instead of an A. It's a marginal dip. I just wanted to be fair to Season 1 being like such a seemingly structured animal, and this second one felt like it had a little bit more messiness. But overall, I mean, I care about Polaris more than I have since the 90s. I'm so invested in Rogue and Gambit's relationship in a different way. There's a different context to it. The impact of Nightcrawler was astounding. The fact that they made an actual Apocalypse arc feel like it mattered and it wasn't just OP. Like Apocalypse is so hard to quantify. Like his power set, his abilities, his arc as a character, all of that's impossible because he's too powerful to really describe. He's timeless. He's omnipresent. He's the first mutant. Like when you look at his stuff, you're like, well, that guy doesn't fucking matter because it's everything. They made him matter. So I think all of that doesn't get the credit it deserves when you look at, the way it ended just kind of felt like a mid-season finale instead of a season finale for me.
That's so interesting. Andrew mentioned it, but we do disagree with you on that. For me, the last 3 episodes were some of my favorite episodes of the entire series.
Interesting.
But I do agree with you. Like, I definitely prefer Season 1, but like you said, it's kind of semantics.
The show starts so heavy with one character, and then it doesn't end with him, really, to me.
No, I understand that, but I kind of look at it as I don't think that's over.
So you think with a 3 it might feel even stronger, like a full 3.
Yeah, and I really don't think it's over, and I don't think we've seen the last of Apocalypse at all, but so it's interesting, like that the Nightcrawler kind of bottle episode with Exodus I found so phenomenal, and then with the payoff at the end of the finale, in the finale, like I felt that was even stronger. The Gambit Back from the Dead episode, he's aura farming up the wazoo. He looks so cool. I don't know.
The Brood episode for me was a highlight, and I feel like that, like, they captured a Ridley Scott alien feeling in animation, and that's so hard to do when you're looking at, changing mediums from, oh my god, I'm scared because it's like to live this, to like, they're literally drawing Brood, and I'm like, I'm affected. Like, this is unnerving. I thought that was incredible. Yeah. For me, it was just that I wanted to feel like the threat of Onslaught was stronger as Gambit, as one of the Horsemen, as Death itself.
Yes.
That's my mid-season energy.
I thought that too. I was like, okay, great. Gambit's Death, who's going to be everybody else?
Right.
And then we don't do anybody else.
And it's kind of...
That was a little...
That's why mid-season feeling.
Sure, I
versus
understand
season
that.
finale.
But then there's also the aspect of it. Look, I agree with you. I do not think season 2 is better than season 1. I give season 1 a 10 out of 10. I give season 2 a 9 out of 10.
Like I said, the horror.
Like you said, A minus. But it's so interesting. There are problems, I think, with season 2 that we didn't really get into in our episode. And I want to ask you both right now, do you think there's enough, and I know that some people are going to look at me a little cross-eyed here, but do you guys think there's enough stakes in X-Men 97?
Why not?
Do you think Magneto is dead?
Do you think Nightcrawler's
dead?
dead?
Do you think Nightcrawler is dead? And did you think Gambit was dead? Do we think Magic is dead? Legitimately, I could see every single person that they have killed in this show coming back, just like you already brought back Gambit. I felt that watching, a lot of people were like, a lot of people were upset with the finale of X-Men 97 Season 2, because they're like, oh, you did Nightcrawler dirty, he was the best part of the season, did this, did this, did this. I have no doubt in my mind he is coming back.
I think they're going to do the Amazing X-Men run where he's fighting back from heaven. Like, there's comic precedent for what they've just done.
Yeah.
And I think that's a way to keep... There's so many characters. Like, when you watch a movie and they have to suddenly split up a team of 10 for a reason, I think that's what happened with Nightcrawler and Magneto, is you've got so many characters we love. How do you make it interesting for different dynamics? I think they very consciously put Nightcrawler on another plane. So I don't think he's gone. I do think he's dead, but I don't think he's gone.
Yeah. Is Magneto?
I think for a season. Or at least, like, kind of getting a Gambit treatment.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm always on the train of, like, if you bring back a character once or twice, that's fine. But if that's, like...
your thing?
Yeah, if that's your thing,
that's
and,
the
like,
X-Men thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like, the problem is it's X-Men.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at X-Men comics,
I
I don't disagree. But usually X-Men have years of comics to do it. This is a show that takes place over 3 months of our time. So that's the trickiness of speedrunning the X-Men. Like, they covered 12 different iconic arcs. So in comic book time, that's like 5 years. So, even with multiple runs, Uncanny, X-Men, X-Factor, X-Force, all of that would still be like 5 years of time, so you'd feel the death more. In one season of our time, 4 months have passed. So I don't know if that's the issue, but like when Magneto comes back, if he does, we'll be like, okay, a year in my life has passed.
That makes sense.
That's a really good point.
That makes sense.
Yeah. No, and it is interesting that they've done so many different arcs and pulled from so many different things from the comics in X-Men 97, but still putting a new spin on it. And still giving it that MCU flair where you're pulling Civil War, but it's completely different for so many different reasons. They've kind of done that with 97 a couple of times.
Danger and the X-Corps storyline. That's what's interesting to me is, like, I'm so versed in my love of the lore. This is the first show where I felt the speedrunning differently than, say, a Civil War. Because Civil War wasn't speedrunning the comic. It was just like, we're going to use a theme. Nothing else.
Sure.
And this is more like, hey, you love that comic? We're going to do it in 23 minutes. And that is a different thing when you're adapting it, 80% of the way, but using it in another format. You notice when it is just like, okay, we're on. So I think that's tricky when, I would have done something very different with the third act of the season. I think they were setting up X-Corps, X-Factor, a soft Generation X, X-Force, and X-Men as all different contingencies of what it is to be a mutant, right?
Yeah.
They kind of alluded to that with the Exodus episode you love, and what it means to be kind of tribal. And I love the commentary in X-Men of like, okay, it's a world that hates and fears them, but even in and amongst themselves, they're trying to figure out what they represent, and they literally brand themselves. It's a much darker version of what Batman does. Batman's like, I'm gonna put a brand in everything, and so criminals are afraid of me, and it's kind of silly, but you fuck with it because you buy that. Mm-hmm. The X-Men use it as kind of like, hey, everyone fucking hates us, but we hate back or love back different, according to what's after that dash.
Yeah.
So,
it's X something.
And that something means like factor.
I'm either gonna kill you or I'm going to talk to you.
Exactly. And they didn't really get into the different, like the big thing they did was like X-Force and X-Factor got together and they're like, this is crazy, we're teaming up. But they didn't really elaborate on how that would be insane in the world. Like, X Factor is basically a bunch of narcs. They're like mutants that narc on mutants, and I'm like, I don't fuck with these cops. Then X-Force teaming up with them is like, what if all the mercenaries and the cops teamed up? We didn't get to feel the weight of that because of how quick we got there.
Yeah, I mean, they cover so much.
Point.
So in X-Corps, I feel like they were like, guys, we have to leave the country for tax reasons. Like, it felt like it was just Xavier moving to Florida when all the bros and comedian guys left to Texas. Like, it felt like California changed their tax code. We didn't feel the weight of him being kicked out of America because Xavier's got ins with all the government and he talks to the president and he's got all these things. X-Corps literally should be like, he's not welcome in the States. This is an ostracized man that has to make it a company in order to be safe. I didn't feel the weight of that. I just felt like he got a tower.
Yeah.
So that's why the third act for me, really quickly.
There was no tower, and then there was a tower.
Yeah,
a giant tower.
10 years the Avengers Tower was on sale.
Yeah.
But like, to me, that was the issue with the third act, was just because I had written, and maybe this is my fault, but I had written all these things for the third act to be like, well, how are the X-Men different than X-Corps, and it's the same people? Like, what would that change in their allegiance? Why is X-Factor different than X-Force? And when they come together, what does that mean? And instead, it was like, we go back to Gambit because that's our emotional core, but we don't get into the nuance of the tribalism amongst mutants.
And they're going to bring everybody back.
And they're going to bring everybody back! So, like, the weight is tricky.
Yeah. Speaking of bringing everybody back, that's... Can we move on?
Please.
That's why Steve's a bad idea.
Yes, I
Speaking of letting endings be endings.
Oh, man.
What was your take?
Because were you
Chris Evans, Steve Rogers coming back in Avengers Doomsday?
You were at D23, right?
I was not.
Oh, okay. So,
dude, Disney just didn't decide to have me at D23.
Well, I'm sure you were busy being awesome.
I covered it pretty well.
Yeah.
Got some numbers that did 23.
Go follow his socials, everybody.
Yes, please.
He's working hard. But when they came out, it was like Haley, Robert, and Chris.
Yeah.
And when Chris came out, like, his little speech was like, "Oh, you thought I could get a happy ending." It was like, and then he was like, "That's not true," or whatever. Like, that's basically what he said, and we were all like, "Yeah, that's kind of what we wanted, was you to like your ending,
walk off into the sunset."
The last scene of Avengers Endgame to actually mean something.
Yeah.
But I guess not. So yeah, what do you think?
I am very vocal, and this is probably second only to my Wolverine clip with you guys. The most clipped thing of me on the internet is talking about the X-axis of Steve and Tony with Thor in the middle, and how that is the perfect structure over the course of 23, 24 films with Endgame.
Yeah.
I think Iron Man being a character you meet as a war profiteer, the most selfish guy, a guy that is only about making sure he is good, becoming the guy that jumps on the bomb, and then Chris, he's the one and the same to me, Steve being a guy that literally you meet jumping on the bomb, being the antithesis of the guy that makes the bomb, then being the guy that's like, hey, I've been a soldier my whole life, it's time for me to step back and have my last dance.
Yeah.
I think that is so beautiful, and then the one people don't talk about is the fact that we meet Thor, and he's sure of himself, and then he gets less and less sure. So you've got these two men deciding exactly who they are and changing in their arcs, and one guy trying to figure out who he is the whole time. Thor's on a walkabout, and that's why a lot of his imagery is like the weird tripping ball scene in Age of Ultron. That's why like him trying to find out who he is in Ragnarok and Love and Thunder works, because of what you get with Tony and Steve, because of their certainty and how it changes so beautifully, and it crosses over at Civil War. What's so amazing is the moment that's that comic accurate cover, it's them kind of going to each other's perspective of like, Steve starts trying to get out, and Steve starts trying to be his own man. Steve starts deciding to put down the shield, and then on the other side, Tony starts realizing that I've hurt all these people. He's known that. That's why he becomes Iron Man. But he also wants to be the guy that's willing to make the sacrifice play. He wants to put a coat of armor around the world, but he realizes he can't because of Ultron. So he starts making his way towards being selfless. So you've got this incredible arc that is now going to be completely gone now. Like it should have been, if we're doing variants, if we're doing alternate takes, that Steve is the one we lived with. That Steve is the one that we fell in love with. We're still going to associate any Steve that we see with that emotion, but it would have been nice if our Steve got to make that dance and live that, and then use Nomad, do another take. Like,
sure,
if you're going to have the infinite possibility option of, a Council of Reeds and a Kang Stadium and Downey coming back, let Steve end that way, and then we're still going to be excited as fuck when Captain America ×2 is in it.
Yeah.
So I'm not in love with it.
Yeah. That one really bothers us. They killed or ended 3 huge characters in Endgame.
Yeah.
It was Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, Chris Evans' Cap, and then Black Widow.
Yeah.
And kind of two of them were kind of back in some way or shape or form, and that just feels weird to me. I've gotten over the Robert one a little bit more, but the Chris one, especially when he came out and said that on stage, Alex and I were like,
we were staring at each other.
Are you serious? You're like, are you serious?
Because the cool thing about the Robert one is it feels like they hired Downey Jr. for two different reasons.
Yes, I was just saying that.
And it literally feels like you hired Robert Downey Jr. the actor and Robert Downey Jr. the showman. And I think as long as Robert Downey Jr. the actor keeps that mask on and is Victor Von Doom and embraces it and isn't Tony Stark, and Robert Downey Jr. the showman that you pay the other half of that island money for
right.
is the guy that comes out and does his Tony Stark swag, does his bravado. Because my biggest concern was the chair video. Because I was like, you know what? Downey Jr. is Chaplin. He's Kirk Lazarus. He is this actor that is able to do anything. The problem is when we associate him with Iron Man. The problem is if I see him standing next to Chris Evans, I go, it's Iron Man.
Yeah.
It's not a lack of ability and it's not a lack of talent in what he's going to bring to Victor. It's undermining Victor because of Downey's association.
Right.
So as long as the actor is cast for two separate reasons, the chair video, when they scroll past for 7 hours of our life and then it reveals Downey, but he's doing his Tony Stark thing as Von Doom, that's your problem. When he comes out on stage and he's like da-da-da, but he's not doing like Doom, that's your problem. But if you keep it separate so he's selling Doomsday, and then in the movie, every shot of him does not feel like Downey.
Not at
every
all.
single
No, it
moment.
doesn't.
But that's got to be very distinct. The problem is Chris Evans sounds like it's going the opposite way.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, it's just fully him.
It's just him, and then it's like, well, we lose everything.
Exactly. Do you want it? I mean,
we talked about this the other day.
you want him to keep the mask on because that like
Is Doom and also association.
right, but
We made him with the mask off. Bold choice.
If you do all of Doomsday and you never have him take the mask off, isn't having it be Robert Downey Jr., does that not feel a little cheap as well? It's you're using Robert Downey Jr. just to get us there, but like...
Well, no, because I could see that argument. I could totally understand how that would be some people's perspective. But what better test as an actor than to literally do the ultimate in acting that not showing your face? Like, it's your eyes, it's your physicality, it's your voice, it's your everything.
Yeah.
So Downey Jr. does not need more money. He doesn't need anything. This man wants for nothing. He did it. He did the victory lap. He came from the lowest lows a person can have, coming out of rehab, hitting rock bottom, to the biggest movie star in the world, to then I'm going to pivot and get my Oscar. What does a human being, like taking away like our association with the man, a human being is always seeking, right? Like we're always striving. We're always moving the finish line. One of the things that scares the crap out of me is like, I've done Hall H 3 times, so I'm like, I'll never feel the rush of 13,000 eyeballs. Like I get how rock stars get addicted to drugs.
Right.
I get how movie stars are like, I need to buy a T-Rex skull. Oh no, I go to the government,
next?
$10 million.
Yeah.
What is next for Downey Jr.? Fucking never taking the mask off and showing that you can act your eyeballs literally out and do something that no one's done.
His net worth, I just Googled it, is $300 million.
The man could not spend the money he has.
No, an extra $80 million is really probably not moving the needle.
And if he's invested even 10% of it, he's making more money per minute than he can spend.
Yeah.
Like, he could.
Do you think... so you think that if you go watch Avengers Doomsday in the theater and you never see RDJ's face, you'll be happy with that?
I hope.
Interesting.
And to the point where we met dude with his mask off. Fantastic Four, I was like... Don't you fucking nope. Like, because it's the point of Doom is his ego, and what I love is there are two different interpretations of the scarring. There's one where it's literally a mauled face because he put on and it seared his face.
He's got,
There's
like, no
another
nose.
take where it's like boop.
Yes,
and his vanity.
Yes, I really hope it's that.
And if they show his face, I hope it's vanity. The problem is it's Downey Jr.'s face. So we see that face and we go, well, that's our association, and we know he's Victor. He's not a Tony variant. We know he's these things. So if they show his face, that's going to be a very tricky context of it not feeling like it's pandering to like his relationship to Peter, his relationship. So they'd have to, and I trust them. It's the Russos. It's an incredible team. But I need there to be a reason for that to be his face. Versus if he keeps the mask on, there just gets to be an incredible actor that sold the fuck out of a movie that broke every record and gets to be an actor.
That's so interesting. I hadn't thought about it like that because it still feels weird to me for them to like. I get what you're saying.
It's also ironic. It's also really meta. Think about what Downey Jr. did to culture when he improvised the line, "Screw it, I am Iron Man."
Yeah.
That meant no masks in the MCU. What if now he's the only motherfucking mask to stay on in the MCU.
But the whole time I'm watching the movie, I'm like, the villain in this movie is I still know that's Iron Man.
But you want to get to the point you stop thinking it. And that's not going to happen if you take the mask off.
He's got the green eyes. You can't tell behind the mask.
You should forget.
The physicality.
But the whole point of the casting and having him...
The point is to make the money back and have us have this conversation. The point is the fact that we're having this conversation.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But I think the conversation, like, that being the point, is a little cheap.
When the credits rolled in The Dark Knight, did you think, oh, right, that was Heath Ledger? Or were you thinking about the experience of, it's crazy, he disappeared?
Yeah, sure, but Heath Ledger wasn't the main character of the Batman universe for 13 years.
And what do you do after you get the Oscar, your $300 million net? You try to up.
You retire.
Clearly he struggles. But, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, what do you do to be the biggest in the game? What do you do to do the thing that no one else has done?
But no, like, if Heath Ledger played Superman for 13 years and then came back and played the Joker, I'd be like, but they never show his... that would be weird. That would be weird.
I would love the challenge for the actor.
As an artist and a creative, sure, but as like a fan who has watched Iron Man since I was 12.
Yeah. I want Downey Jr. to not have to validate us.
Why is it validating us? Like they're using us. They're using our history with him to make the money back, but then they're not actually using him.
Because it shouldn't be a story about Iron Man.
Yeah, but
Victor has nothing to do with Iron Man, so it shouldn't.
Then why cast Iron Man
to have us have this conversation?
Yeah, and that being the point is stupid.
No, I mean it could be if they do it wrong. I'm saying they're walking a high wire act over.
Oh,
fire.
I agree. I don't think there's a way they can do it.
And I've been saying that from the beginning. I've been saying from the jump, like
100%.
Victor Von Doom cannot be sacrificed for a marketing ploy.
100%.
So now we're 4 months out. What's happened? Like
what's happening?
This is the moment.
I'm still of like, even if whether they take the mask off or on, like what is he? Like I can't think of an answer that it fully satisfies me.
And I haven't either.
Right? So
and that's the thing is like they're re-releasing Endgame, they're adding stuff, they're accenting Endgame. They're making sure it is relevant. They're doing that weird thing where it's like after X2 nothing happened. We saw that like yesterday on Disney Plus. They're like, you don't need to watch after this. And it feels like Endgame, obviously Shang-Chi is in the movie, like those things, but it feels like Endgame is the last film that ties to this Avengers set. Correct. And the trailers even feel like that.
Correct.
It is not a coincidence that we're going from that into this, and I think that directly ties into Doom. But how is awesome that we don't know. Like, we all do this for a living. The fact that we don't have a single theory of how the fuck they can make that work, I think is unique.
Now, I've got a couple of fucking theories. I don't want you to speak for me.
But are you...
you don't know.
I got a couple. I got no fucking
happy with
clue.
any of them?
I honestly, the more you guys talk, and I would talk to Andrew about this on our episode that came out a week ago. Maybe I'm just like slop. They're jingling the keys enough for me. The more I think about Doomsday, the more it works for me.
Oh, same.
Same. Like the more I think about it, because initially my thought process was, and this was months ago, it was Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom is going to take Franklin. He's got a way of going to a universe, and he can peer into all the universes, and he knows he looks exactly like the great hero who is also dead of Earth 616, MCU 19999, whatever you want to call it. He is going to go there because he knows he can be loved, and he can hide, and that's why the Fantastic Four are chasing him, because he's got Franklin. That was my initial theory. Now I have the theory that he's never taken off the mask, and he's only there to act and voice act, because he's the best in the world, that, as we can see from the fucking trailer that just dropped this week.
Dude.
Let me paint the scene.
Oh, shoot. I'm listening.
You're finally home.
Long day.
Long day at work. All you want to do is kick your feet up.
Relax, but you're hungry.
You're hungry, you're starving, and you got something.
You got stuff in your pantry.
Fridge, but...
Dishes, pans, cooking, cleaning. Screw all that.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's where Factor comes in.
Oh.
That's correct. A product that we both use, have used, will continue to use.
It's great. You pop them in the microwave. They're fresh meals, that, done by chefs. Not frozen. Every meal is crafted with functional ingredients. Lean proteins, veggies. Whole foods, healthy fat, stuff like that.
Yep, delivered straight to your door, like you said, crafted by dietitians. We can't recommend Factor enough. I mean, they have helped us in a pinch many a times.
Yeah. So
absolutely,
like you said, we use it. You should too. Go to factormeals.com/escapepod50off and use code escapepod50off to get 50% off.
Yep.
And free daily greens per box.
Yes.
With new subscription only while supplies last until 9/27/2026.
Yeah, so September 27th, 2026 is the deadline for that. But thank you so much to Factor for sponsoring this episode. The more I think about Doomsday, the more I'm like the more you guys are talking and arguing and you're like, well, what about Steve and what about this and what about that? But then you say something like, yeah, it's a direct sequel to Endgame. And you got the RDJ Instagram caption, which is like, nothing gets fixed gently. And he's got the line in the newest trailer, which is much better than the first trailer they released. And he's got the line where he's like, all of you have been living stolen lives. And then on our last episode that came out a week ago, I broke down all of the characters that are living stolen lives. Like Thor, taking care of love, because eternity granted Gore that wish instead of killing all the gods, including Thor. You've got all of these characters, including Steve having a baby with Peggy, including Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, rather than erasing the blipped 5 years because he had Morgan. No, just bring everybody back. Loki, getting that Avengers 2012 that we see in Endgame, that entire universe gets pruned in Loki season 1, but then he's now the god of stories at the TVA. All of that.
All of those mentioned specifically by Disney Plus this week, by the way.
I know, and that's how it came up on the podcast last week. So this is my point, is it's like, damn it, I feel like they're doing a good fucking job bringing everything together. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
The magic trick is going to be when everyone that was like, phase 4 and 5 don't really feel as cohesive, if they can somehow do the double down of Doom feeling like he didn't need the Thanos setup and this tying things together in a way that the Avengers movie traditionally have. How? That's why I'm like so impressed with me being excited, because I've been reluctant about this from the day they said Downey Doom.
The day they announced this.
At
Andrew
Comic-Con,
and I were at a dinner, and it was a business dinner with like 18 people. We go, so sorry, we are stepping out. We go into his car, and we were like, what the fuck? But like, the more I read,
it's working.
The more I get into it, I'm fully drinking the Kool-Aid.
It's also not linear, which I love. I mean, we've been doing this for 18 years. Like, the 2008 was Iron Man. We've been in this for people that were born the year that movie came out can fucking vote. It's crazy. I love that we're releasing a film that we as grown-ass men can go, I don't know. Because so often superhero films get to be like, good guy, bad guy starts winning, good guy punch harder, bad guy lose. And we don't know. And that is so much more exciting than any build-up in a long time for this genre.
I think, what he was saying, I'm still cautious. I still don't think they don't know what they're doing.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I'll just wait. Are you okay?
I'm doing okay.
I'm
not sleeping enough, Coy.
Yeah, none of us, but your body's starting to go like, hey,
come on.
What you doing there?
That's okay. We fly to London tomorrow. It's fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. That's good for rest. The weather's gonna be great for you too. It's gonna be just top tonight.
It's gonna be great. Holy balls, dude!
I'm gonna have to step out.
I'm gonna see pictures of you in London, just like.
Yeah. All right, let's do it.
I mean, I think we're all getting more and more excited as Doomsday goes, and I want to come back to that in a second. I'm still cautious. I'm still worried about some things like I just mentioned, but I do feel a lot better than I did when the movie was first announced, or when the Robert Downey Jr. thing first happened, or when the Steve thing first happened, which I'm still not happy about. But I'm still getting more and more excited for the movie, and that brings me to my question of, is this the most like the MCU has felt like the MCU in years? Coming off of Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four and some great TV shows like Daredevil and X-Men 97, and things are actually connecting. The end credit scene of Fantastic Four leading into this, Spider-Man Brand New Day being absolutely amazing, the end credit scene there, like, this feels like prime MCU, and it still feels a little bit more disconnected, because, like, is this movie trying to be Infinity War? Is this movie trying to be the first Avengers, where it's like, we're finally bringing all these characters together? Like, is it a mixture of both? Like, Doom didn't have the lead up that Thanos has, but the multiverse saga storyline definitely has. We've been getting that in everything. So my question to you is, even just in movies in general, the box office this year, like, DC's starting to cook, like, Lanterns just started. Like, is this, like, when's the last time movies and nerddom felt like this?
Last time I was on your show,
yeah,
I said that there is a transition happening, and we are leaving the silver age of comic book movies and going into a golden age of comic book movies. I think we are in it. I think it was a year ago, when I was here, and I think I was looking ahead, and my personal thoughts were that Marvel was going to start playing the hits because they weren't in a position to experiment anymore. They were a band that had done well 10 years ago, exaggerating, but in the metaphor. I don't need the comments, but like the band that had done well 10 years ago put out a couple experimental albums that had an occasional single or two people loved, but overall they didn't love as much. Then you do a tour, play the hits, get people back on your side, and then you can start experimenting again. I think right now it's tricky because in comic books the golden age is first, then it's silver, then it's bronze, then it's modern. But I think in the more metaphorical sense, we're entering a golden age in the more traditional nomenclature of what golden age means. We're entering an age where we have built from the year 2000, X-Men suits had to be black leather because Blade had done well, the Matrix had done well, and society wasn't ready, to the year 2025 when you had a fucking yellow spandex Hugh Jackman, same man. Quarter century later, society caught up to shit. Spider-Man, same thing. We got a Spider-Man in 2001 that, is very Spider-Man-y, but then they like drifted into more tech and drifted into a different costume. We've now drifted back to the most screen-accurate Spider-Man costume to date. We're getting things, the new X-Men are going to be, we see James Marsden finally getting Jim Lee suit, but I think this new X-Men is likewise going to be the comics. I think there is a different tonality. I think there's a different societal exception and expectation. Like, we want to accept it and we expect it. I think right now, between Superman and Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, all the stuff I talked about last year that I claimed kicked it off, I think between that and the successes in the box office this year, movie theaters coming back in a big way, conversations feeling like they're joyous again, this legitimately, I think, will kick off the best 10 years of comic book movies that we've ever had. I think more than 08 to 18. I think more than, I'm saying it because
I don't know about that.
we sugarcoat some of the stuff that came out because there was something around the corner that was going to be great. There was always something. There isn't the ability to do that now because the cost is too high. So I think they're being way more careful. I think they're pulling way more belt straps. So I don't think we'll have as many pitfalls. I think we excuse our Thor the Dark Worlds and we excuse our things not working out. Marvel knows they can't get away with that, and DC knows they can't get away with that.
DC really learned they can't get away with that.
But that's what I mean. That wasn't the case in our last golden age. When everyone talks about like the incredible Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, like that run, I think is the best we've ever had it. That was a good 3 or 4 years. I think if the studios look at the cost of fucking up now, we might enter a better age now because society can handle crazier shit and the characters are all coalescing better. Like, the deal between Marvel and Sony, much better. We saw how much better Spider-Man was. We saw creators get to create. We saw Tom Holland and Destin get to make creative choices. We see what's happening with the Batman 2 getting to be like, hey, make sure it's done. Like, take your time. Those things would not have fucking happened in the last golden age. I think we're going to enter a better age now. That's why. It's based on society, not based on movies. I'm looking at the way the art is reflecting society's patience, expectation, understanding, and the business side of it. It's different now. And less Disney Plus shows.
Yes.
Which will help.
So if we were to talk about specific movies and projects, what do you what are the heavy hitters or the things in the future that you think are going to contribute to this next 10 years? Is it what's at the top? X-Men?
Look at where
DC,
we are right now.
The Batman Beyond, like
on our calendars as people in the year 2026, we can look forward to in the next 5 years an X-Men series launching while a Superman series continues on, while a Batman series continues on, while the best Spider-Man, in my opinion, in live action ever, gets to continue on. It is all of the characters that literally are like, hey, remember when you had a fucking lunchbox? That's all right now in their prime. So I think 100% this next era is going to be box office success, critical success, us having these conversations. I think we're better off now looking to the future than we were better off in 2010 looking to the future.
We started the podcast at the right time.
Oh, come on, big dog. Come on.
Dog.
But like,
and you're ramping up the social media. Go follow Coy. Go follow
Truly,
Coy.
like,
He's way smarter than us.
I disagree. You guys are so much more plugged into the culture of fandom, and I'm very plugged into the culture that led to this fandom.
Sure.
But that's because we are nerds.
But that's all of us. That's all of us. We get to represent the unks and the Gen Zs.
It's really interesting, just to touch on that. I really want to get back to what we're talking about, but you being on this show is such a unique perspective because, no disrespect to you, I love you to death, but you are somebody for lack of a better way of saying it, I grew up watching. And so, and Real Rejects, and you know, you've got everybody, you know, the people that have been around for forever, new rock stars, and Mr. Sunday Movies, The Weekly Planet. And it is really cool that we're able to, you've come on this podcast 4 fucking times, and we're able to have the bridging of the gap of the generations.
I love that.
Where every time you come on, you say something like, "You don't know what it was like. You were fucking 5 when Watchmen came out. Like you don't understand. Like that was so." And I look at it and I'm like, "Where the fuck is the giant squid?" And you're looking at it as like, "No, it's a masterpiece. The giant squid is the only thing they missed."
And the fact that we get to live this and then every few years look back like agriculturalists about it, I think is the more exciting thing than what it was the heyday was Winter Soldier, right? Like I think Winter Soldier, Dark Knight, like that was, I think, Daredevil was on Netflix. I think right now that is comfortably, Deadpool 1 came out. That's our best era. But I remember distinctly, I was hosting then, and I had time to do a half-hour breakdown on fucking Falcon's suit. We do not have the time to cover the fact that Spider-Man made $2 billion. We don't have the time to cover the fact, like, there is such an abundance of riches, but the human brain, much like Downey Jr.'s, is always striving for more. So I think we don't realize that we're living in a golden age while we're in it, in the same way that nostalgia is so powerful. In the present, we are never going to realize, holy shit, this might be the best it is, and then you need to take a step back and look at the fact, Man of Tomorrow, that's what I'm saying.
We're doing it right now.
You asked a question, and I'm going to say, this is going to be a very important tape. In 10 years, I am shooting my shot that The Batman 2, Superman 2, Spider-Man Brand New Day 2, whatever they call it, the launch of the X-Men universe, a combination Doomsday Secret Wars, all Beyond the Spider-Verse is out in, 10 months? All of that is right fucking now. We're living in the best of times.
Doomsday is in 4 months.
This is now!
And then Secret Wars is next year. And also, the fact that they announced the X-Men movie's date and it's less than 2 years away.
And X-Men 97 just ended. Daredevil Born Again's got another season coming out. Lanterns just dropped yesterday.
Ryan Gosling is Ghost Rider and he's in Star Wars.
And David Johnson is fucking T'Challa. This is the time. It's happening.
It's good stuff.
We're not made to see that. Like, it's the way we survived as a species is to go like, what's better? How do I find a better station? How do I get into a better alignment with a tribe, or get stronger to survive longer, or make myself more approachable to mates? Like, our goal is to be better. That's why people like $300 million ain't enough. What do you want? To be a better? So I think that's how we got to this point. But I also think that's why so many people are miserable, because they think they just missed it. But it's happening now, but we need to think we just missed it to literally survive.
This is really cool that you brought that point up, that what you just said. I was just on our Patreon movie night, shout out our Patreon, shout out our Deborah Tier patrons, and we were watching the finale of X-Men 97, and afterwards I sat and talked with them for a couple hours. And I was talking to a young man named Nico, who's 15 or 16, like he's in high school. And he was explaining like, oh, I didn't really, and there were other people in the call, I might be putting all these people together, but there were people in the call that were like, didn't see Infinity War and Endgame in theaters because I was 9 or whatever it was, or maybe he did, but he was young. But he was like, we've got a midnight showing, me and my friends, for Doomsday, the Wednesday night. And it's
welcome to it, man.
I was like, I will never forget my midnight showing of Infinity War. I was like, that is, even if the movie is dog shit, which we hope Doomsday isn't. We hope Doomsday is great. But like, even if the movie's dog shit, like that is a memory for the rest of your life. You will remember going to the theater, getting out at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And being like, what was that? You'll be up till 6 if you don't like it. If you love it, you'll be up the entire next 24 hours.
And it will be a thing that you get to keep you warm in bad days.
Yes.
It's a thing that gets to be something that sustains you through dark times and breakups in college if you're 9 or whatever the fuck. But also, I think it forms what your next wave is. Like, I was 10 when Blade came out, so I was not allowed to see that R-rated movie in theaters, but you better believe the day that came out on VHS, I snuck it into my friend's car because they had a car TV, and I secretly watched an R-rated Blade at 10 and a half years old in the back of a car VCR VHS player driving to rural Vermont. I remember I watched Blade on like a 10-inch screen on a fucking VHS tape for the first time when I was 10, going on 11, and it changed my life. And that is the worst way to see a movie for the first time. Like, on a winding road, a 10-inch screen, on horrible quality, but it showed me that other people gave a shit about a guy that's a vampire from comic books.
Yeah.
And so these kids today are getting to go out at midnight to see fucking Doom after a universe is formed, and people have the gall to say that times were better then? Like, it is the time!
You hosted a wonderful, wonderful event with Kevin Smith and Robert Kirkman.
Oh, I love that day. Kings of Comics.
Yes, and they made the joke. They were like, a Craven movie is out right now, and none of us have seen it. Like,
right!
Like, that's crazy. Yeah, so sorry, what were you going to say?
Slightly more negative, but if Doomsday is the mess that it could be, and it's not Infinity War where they actually kind of tell a cohesive story, and maybe there's some epic moments, but it's the general consensus is that movie shouldn't have been made, or whatever, or it was just a cash grab. How devastating do you think that will be for the MCU? Do you think that will make Secret Wars do terribly? Do you think people will care less about the X-Men?
I think the X-Men is this incredible. They've got Otani as a fucking second wave.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? They're not even playing him yet.
Yeah.
I think the beauty of everything is, that was the first and maybe only sports metaphor to get at me. I don't know where that came from, but I stand by.
I like it.
I feel very good about it. But I feel like the beauty of what they're doing is we get to have a farewell tour part 3. Motherfucking Xavier's died more times than he does in the comic books. It's crazy. But it's going to impact us emotionally no matter what. So they've got a guaranteed something in Doomsday. We don't know what the movie's going to be, but there is already a built-in audience of curiosity about Doom. Yes. Goodbye to the Fox universe. Is Toby in it? Like, all the things you want are built in, right? So the movie, no matter what, has a question mark, which leads itself to not losing money most likely. The quality of the movie is what we're discussing, correct, and I think that is going to be a matter of whether or not it can have as many things as it demands to do feel like it accomplishes a goal. It is impossible for it to do all those things. So it's going to be a ratio. Like, it's going to be, do we feel as much as we need to not be upset? It's not a pass-fail, but it's damn close on this one, in my opinion. I think the trailers are a testament to the fact that we have gone from to like, fucking that new I think it's going to succeed because the trailers have already shown us. We are leaving behind, I'm reluctant, I'm curious, I'm excited. Is it, like, we're already there. So I think the movie, by that metric, we're going the right direction.
Right, but that's why the more we get on that side of the equation,
the bigger fall it has.
Yeah. And Marvel always has great trailers.
They do.
The Brave New World trailer, Brave New World.
You got it.
I always, Brand New Day, Brave New World, it's impossible.
It's tough.
Brave New World trailers were very good. The Thor Love and Thunder trailers were very good. Our good friend Chris, idiot, but good friend, he was saying before Thor Love and Thunder, because of the trailers, that it would be the best MCU movie of all time.
Bold.
Bold.
I think there's also, and I said X-Men as pocket aces, but it is a very interesting thing where they're going right from a $2 billion plus Spider-Man movie into this, and then the high is so high, they might get away with a little bit of like residual. Like, the high, it's going to feel like a roller coaster no matter what.
Yes.
And I think they're going to get away with some graces because no matter what, we're going to be excited to play with the toys again.
Yeah. It's kind of like Deadpool and Wolverine. It's got some problems, but people like it overall because it was a roller coaster.
Shiny.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
I don't know what Marvel, to answer your question in a more definitive way, I don't know what Marvel does if it's not good. Because it will be another year and a half until X-Men. But that's only a year and a half. So I think they're in a really good spot as separating my emotion. As a business, holy fuck, they're in an amazing spot. Because worst case, it bombs. They've got another Avengers movie a year out. And then right fucking after that, they're launching a universe that we're already invested in. Emotionally, I don't know if the stakes have ever been higher for a single film in the history of movies, because shared universes didn't exist before this, and the weight of a $2 billion expectation didn't exist before this. Like, Spider-Man is the 64th film to ever cross $1 billion. It happened so often in 2018 and 2019. I think we all think it's common, but like 64 movies come out a quarter. It is insane that only 64 have ever made $1 billion. So I think we think of it happening a lot. This movie has to do that. So I don't know if stakes have ever been this high on a single film.
I don't know if the stakes are as high as you're portraying them, though. based on it has to make $1 billion. I genuinely think there's no chance it doesn't make $1 billion opening weekend.
That's what I'm saying business-wise. I'm saying emotionally. I think business-wise,
it's safe.
It does that.
That raises the question.
Yeah, show versus business.
That raises the question. Doomsday is dog shit. It's dog shit. Can Secret Wars still be successful? Because I have always had the take that if Doomsday is good, Secret Wars will be great. Like, Secret Wars will make a ton of money. If Doomsday is great, Secret Wars will be the highest grossing movie of all time.
Endgame had Infinity War to set it up.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like that. My question is, and in this time, you don't have Captain Marvel and Ant-Man and the Wasp to lose people. You know what I'm saying? Not that those movies lost anything. If Doomsday is great, Secret Wars might be the biggest movie of all time. But my question is, can Secret Wars afford Doomsday being bad, like dog shit? Because listen to me here. Doomsday makes $1 billion opening weekend. If it's dog shit, it'll make 1.5. You know what I'm saying? Like, then the novelty of RDJ as Doctor Doom, the curiosity of the general audiences. There are people that have not watched an MCU movie since Endgame, since No Way Home, that are going to see Doomsday opening weekend because they're like, RDJ the villain, how are you doing that? You don't, like, we talk to, like, our audience all the time, and they're like, no. My mom is excited for Doomsday, and she hasn't watched a MCU movie since fucking Shang-Chi. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
beautiful.
Like that's got a lot of people. You lose that novelty after Doomsday. Doomsday needs to be good or great to sell Secret Wars to a general audience.
It's got to have an Infinity War level
cliffhanger or setup.
That's why I'm saying show-wise, not business-wise. It's the most important release of Disney. Like, business-wise, you're right. It's going to make its money.
Over Force Awakens?
I mean,
Force Awakens got a lot of pressure on. Had a lot of pressure on.
It did, but I feel like our generation, this is our Star Wars in so many ways, and our generation is much more plugged into movies than the Star Wars audience. Is it not?
Coy?
It is.
With the best take ever on the podcast.
This is 100%
Holy
our
shit.
Star Wars. It is every bit the legacy. It is every bit the galaxy far, far away. It is 100%. And I think that our generation being a movie audience that does it more than once or twice a year, that does it more on the internet, having communication and conversation, that makes this bigger than Force Awakens because it's the same long gap in theater. If you haven't seen a movie since Endgame, it's Force Awakens for you. It is the same bringing back characters like Han and Leia and Luke. It is fucking The Force Awakens, but for a generation that was 9 years old when fucking Iron Man came out, so they couldn't see it yet. Like, this is that. But we're living it. Because it's the golden age of comic book movies.
That is crazy. The MCU is? So do you think, because you get, like, even film bros that come up, like, Robert Pattinson was asked in an interview recently, would he do a Star Wars movie? And he was like, of course. And you, like, even the filmiest of film bros get a glimmer in their eye with Star Wars. Because Star Wars is Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? Do you think this next generation of filmmakers, actors, you know what I'm saying? The film bros of the next generation, do you think they look at the MCU that way? Or do you think they still think of the MCU as slop?
I think if X-Men does well, X-Men becomes the prestige MCU.
Whoa.
I think everyone has a reverence for the X-Men because it is saying a lot. It wears its, it wears what it emotionally and politically is doing on its sleeve, and it came out in 2000. So if you're a film bro, it's either a throwback or it's what you grew up on. The MCU got so popular so fast, and it was a little bit more militarized. Like, if you look at the actual context of that first wave, it's a guy that makes a mech suit to protect, but kind of has allegiances with the government. It's a star-spangled guy. It's got a little bit more of that, like, raw patriotism that I think the X-Men inherently can't, in a good way. Like, the X-Men are counterculture. The X-Men are underdogs. The X-Men are people that are trying to survive in a world. That's fucking actors. I think it's so interesting that actors are as famous as they are because, like, it's really just a bunch of theater kids that get paid more. It's a bunch of, like, carnies, and I don't know if that word's appropriate, I apologize, but it's a bunch of people that are outsiders and people that are removed from society that do weird shit that society doesn't usually accept, but they do it so well that they become the top of society. That's X-Men. Whereas a guy that makes a war suit and then gets popular that works for the government, a guy that is a soldier that took steroids, those guys aren't subconsciously or consciously what actors identify with. So I think X-Men has the chance to be the prestige MCU that every actor, even the most highfalutin, would want to be a part of.
So, perfect segue. What do you think of the X-Men cast? Who's your favorite? Who's your least favorite? Let's talk about it.
I think... Oh God, favorite, least favorite. That's a great question. I think my favorite is Maya Boyd.
Yeah.
And
Fabulous.
I just
Coy.
wanted to make sure I have a storm bias. I wanted to make sure I meant it before I said it out loud. I think my favorite is Maya Boyd because I think a theater-trained, unknown one has to have the most incredible audition in order, not because of the casting director being like, no, you need credits, but the other reason, the casting director only has the audition to go on. I don't think people think about the amount that goes into people's association with an actor. When you audition, if you've got 10 years of resume, that's 10 years of association and footage and connotation and like familiarity. We don't realize how much that we think we know people because of seeing them in movies. If you come in and you've got no credits and you've been on stage, someone might have seen you for 10 hours total if they've seen 5-year plays. Like there is no amount of time that you would have, and then your 3 minutes has to be the most gangster shit ever. So that means that Maya Boyd brought in an audition that made up for years of association an actor might have, delivered on that, has the physicality of a dancer, has the physicality of someone that does ballet.
Are fucking
insane.
Nuts. They're nuts.
And she's gonna be in the air on wire work wielding storms.
Yeah.
She's gonna be a goddess of the skies. She's 23, so I could see her being young. We could do the stuff in Cairo, Egypt. We can do the stuff in Kenya. We can make an ascent from claustrophobic girl stealing to goddess of the skies. There is no more cinematic character in the history of comic books than a girl that goes from the streets to goddess by going from claustrophobia to wielding the skies. It is literally the arc of dreams, and it's a character that's actually got nuance and interesting things to say in a world of 2026 when we have to have the conversation about like what the fuck. It is perfect, and I think she's great. I think she has the look. I think she has the gravitas. I think she has the personality. I think she has the like will. Like watching videos of her, I'm like, she's got that. And that I think is like, and it's funny because it's the one I'm like, I can only watch Instagram clips. Like, I can't watch game tape. And I'm more excited for that than anything else yet.
I completely agree.
Is that your number one?
That was my number one.
That's been our number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Samara Weaving also.
But it feels so like, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird.
It's like Jason Momoa.
Yeah. But I think it'll work out better. But I think it's interesting, Samara Weaving, when it was announced, I was like, I can 100% see that.
Yep.
Next thought. Like my brain just went like,
it was like,
good.
Okay, we checked that box.
Yeah. Like whenever I think about it,
Maya Boyd's like, check, and then like, whoa,
I'm gonna
like a
mull
bigger
this
check.
over for a while.
Yeah.
I think the only one I'm a little, I don't have a worst in the traditional sense that I think it's wrong, but I have one that it made me change everything I expected out of the character.
You're gonna make it happen for me.
Christopher Abbott.
Charles, right?
I think that's the most
that's what I thought you were
different that they could have gone. Because Xavier exudes a welcoming leadership spirit that then turns and you go, oh, I pissed off Teach. And it makes you feel the duality of man that leads to Onslaught, that leads to like more understanding of his friendship with Magnus, that it opens that door. With Christopher Abbott, that door is wide fucking open. That man is exuding darkness. That man just has this stern.
I want him to be more welcoming,
and I don't see that.
Yeah.
So like the only one that makes me go, oh, this isn't your daddy's Xavier. It's a different thing than we've ever seen, because Patrick Stewart is like, well, we printed out a comic book and we got this guy, and then McAvoy is like, hey, we're doing the 70s. I'm gonna like, he shaved his head and they were like, fuck, we needed you with hair, and they had him wear a wig. That's how McAvoy, like, fun, and like they made it more McAvoy to evolve into Charles. This one, I don't see Charles, but I see an actor that is such a thespian. I think he brought stage play elements to Wolfman. Like Wolfman, love the movie or hate it, felt like a play as a movie. And that is a really hard line to walk, where you're doing like theater acting on a screen with Julia Garner, and it's about like turning into a wolf, but you manage to make it grounded but huge. And I think that's what's going to be interesting about Xavier is all these actors are like theater trained. And of all of them, not having seen Maya on stage, I think of Christopher Abbott as like a theatrical guy. So him as Xavier is so different than anything else I'd think of. Like, obviously Patrick Stewart, very theatrical, McAvoy can be, but they do it in a way that's warm and welcoming. Right. When I think Christopher Abbott, I think dark, foreboding, theater, like fucking, he would have been a good Snape.
Yeah.
I don't think a Snape and Xavier are alike. So like he's a very interesting
It's
one.
the way, we talked about this last week, Ian McDermott, the way he plays Palpatine.
Yes.
Because he's a theater actor, and when he's like conniving as Palpatine in the prequels.
Yeah.
But then also how big he can be, but still so evil. That's the theater like repertoire that you get
100%.
with getting these theater kids, these theater actors. My biggest question mark with Christopher Abbott is you still went that young for Xavier. He's only 40.
Yeah.
When you look at like what McAvoy is playing prime, like 20s Charles Xavier in First Class.
He was 32. I looked it up.
He was 32. It's so close in age.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this is the guy starting Xavier School for gifted youngsters, and he's only 40. And we know the camera. I mean, sure, they could age him up, but I don't think they're going to. And I get wanting to get a guy that can play Xavier for 15 years and not kill him 100 times.
Yeah, thanks.
But like, that is the thing where that was my biggest question mark. I'm like, what are they doing that he is almost as young as these fucking kids?
And Sinister's 42. Adam Driver's 42, he's 40. I think the X gene activation was recent, and I think that there's going to be outliers. I think Wolverine's going to be an outlier when they bring him in, hopefully not until the third movie, usually a movie later. But I think that...
I don't think they ever do Wolverine.
I think there's money on the table. I think,
he's too popular.
Yeah, there's no way they're like, we don't want $1 billion on a Thursday.
Yeah,
like, they're going to make money.
You think?
Yeah, he's way too popular.
I think they're terrified of recasting Hugh.
I think that they know that it will inevitably happen, and it needs to be while X-Men are like I think as the star rises, they'll need to like throw in their fucking. How do you do something bigger than X-Men? You do X-Men Wolverine. Like it's ascending.
I don't know. I totally could see a world where they don't do them.
I think we get them within the first 3 movies.
They're not going to do the most popular X-Men character.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I think they're terrified of Hugh.
They're less terrified of not making money.
Yeah. And I also, like, the beauty of Hugh Jackman is he's such an incredible Wolverine in his take. The cool thing is, it's actually the first time it's been a benefit. He's so unlike Wolverine in the comic books, they can do a different take on Wolverine that is so different that people won't compare them. It's like James Bond. Like, when you've got someone as iconic as Pierce Brosnan, you go Daniel Craig. Mm-hmm. Like, the point is, what are the things that make Bond, and how do we play it as completely different as possible while still being true? Mm-hmm. It's why Absolute Batman's so successful. Mm-hmm. If you told me 10 years ago that Absolute Batman would be a book about Batman without money, I'd be like, that's not fucking Batman, fuck you. And then I read it and be like, holy shit, Blue Collar Batman works because every single other element except money is true to Batman, and somehow it feels like Batman. Hugh Jackman is about as far as you can stretch from Wolverine while still being Wolverine because he's so committed, because he found the truth in his version of the character. The beauty of recasting Wolverine is you've got a way more accurate Wolverine out there somewhere that is so different than Hugh Jackman that allows both to be independently true.
All right, we got like.
Do you guys have a worse, Christopher Abbott? Do you have?
No,
Mine is the age thing.
Okay, I didn't know if there was another one.
My worst is Adam Driver. What do you think of Adam Driver?
Dude, SNL Adam Driver is a fucking sassy diva, gene manipulating, old timey. He's gonna fucking cabaret in this bitch.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Yeah,
I think Adam Driver is like, I'm picturing Marriage Story meets SNL, and that's fucking like Mr. Sinister. He has cloned himself and inhabited entire worlds with just Jean Greys because he's so obsessed with Jean, and we only have Jean Grey in the MCU so far. So we're gonna have a guy that's obsessed with our first X-Man. We're gonna have a guy that's like dedicated to gene manipulation when so far the only thing we've got is DODC kind of doing the same shit. It's going to allow for a very different take than the philosophical musings of Magneto versus Xavier. It's going to be an actual direct villain. I think making Mr. Sinister such an efficient villain allows for more time for the X-Men to actually grow in nuance. Because you're bringing in 5 X-Men from jump minimum, and that means you're needing time with them. So Mr. Sinister is a fucking bad guy. We can have a mustache twirling because of the absurdism of the character, and I think Adam Driver is able to bring gravitas to being silly and bring silly to gravitas. Like, the dude is able to play levity when it wouldn't work, but he's also able to be so fucking captivating and terrifying. I think he's going to surprise people as like, oh, that just made sense. Yeah. He's going to be, I think, so good. He's also fucking 18 feet tall. Looks like him.
Yeah.
And that chest,
he can be scary.
That dude looks crazy shirtless.
Yeah. But when he said at D23, he was like, oh, I'm playing Nathaniel Milbury. Isn't that the most serious form of, isn't that one of the most serious variants of Mr. Sinister?
I think we're going to meet him that way, and it's going to be, I think what I would do is if we meet Nathaniel Essex as a geneticist, a man of science, and you assume, like, well, he's at least understanding of the mutant condition, and then you meet clones of him that get progressively more insane because, like Plato's The Cave, the more you remove the source, the more it removes itself from the actual heart of what that art is. I imagine each clone and each ascendant from Nathaniel is going to get crazy.
You think they're going heavy clones here?
Oh, yeah, and I think
even
we're going to
after the multiverse saga and even after the Kang disaster
with
and everything,
a
I think
singular
they would
character,
want to.
yes.
I think that they would want to separate from that.
I think with a character, it's not like variants. It's not also not. We haven't had clones. We've had multiverse.
I know, but it's the same shit for general audiences. You know what I'm saying?
But I think seeing two
like all the Deadpools and Deadpool Wolverine.
That's the closest comp.
So this is my point. I think general audiences by 2028 are going to be over it. After we got Secret Wars, and Secret Wars, we're seeing all three Spider-Man on
100%.
on screen again.
But we haven't seen one guy play opposite himself, multiple characters, to a scale that feels absurdist, except for the post-credit scene with Kang, and that didn't work out. So I think there's an opportunity. Because Deadpools are
This is exactly my point, is I think they're scared of that. I've disagreed with you two things.
That's okay, I like it, because we're civil about it.
Where I just genuinely, Marvel, now maybe this will change if Doomsday is a huge success. But Andrew and I talked about this last week. We talk about this all the time. Marvel used to have fucking cojones. You know, they used to walk around and they were like Guardians after credit scene, Howard the motherfucking Duck.
Yeah.
Like they were like, fuck you in your Black Widow movie. Fuck you in your Black Panther movie. Fuck you in your Nova movie. We're doing a Howard the fucking Duck is what we're doing. We've got balls. That's what they used to do.
Yeah.
Now, they're like, oh, Ryan Gosling, big movie star, wants to be Ghost Rider. Let's sign him the day of.
Fantastic Four made $500 million. They don't have the bank for balls.
This is my point. They have no hubris right now. They have no confidence.
But that's why they're getting to win again.
They are terrified.
I think they're playing the hits, like I said, and I think they need to for a bit. And then with something as guaranteed as X-Men, you get your balls back. I think you need, like, X-Men is going to be the launch of the reballification. And I think that we're going to see it make the money it needs to, launch a universe it needs to, without having to worry about crazy swings because it's the X-Men. Like, that movie is going to make money, and that movie is going to do well, and that movie is going to launch a universe, and that means that it can be real weird in it because the X-Men are weird. Like, you can't have a straight-laced guy as a villain of the X-Men. So I think announcing Nathan Milbury is intentionally, like, what a choice, because it's going to end up being Nathaniel Essex. Like, I'm not saying there's going to be 100 clones. I'm saying there could be. There could be 5. There could be 2. But it's going to end with a much more insane take on the character. And I think we'll meet him normal. And I also think that's why you cast Adam Driver. That guy can play, not Paddington or what the fucking like, straight-laced, like, white noise. Patterson! That guy can play Patterson. That guy can also play, like, his characters in SNL. Like, that's why you do that. And you're also acting against theater actors. It's a theater actor movie of beautiful people just being crazy.
I'll bring up one more thing, and then we can do all the segments on the Patreon. But we talked about this. I've talked about this with a lot of different people. But we talked about this on our last episode. There's a few things that Doomsday can do to lose a lot of people. And one of them is a leading theory that they're killing off legacy characters with the incursions. They're bringing back X-Men to show that this incursion is happening. Their universe is wiped out. I feel like you can do that with the Fox X-Men.
I'm so glad you brought this up.
You cannot do that with Tobey. You cannot do that with Tobey.
Okay.
Tobey is different. I think bringing back Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and killing him and his universe off as like a shock factor introduction to a new Avengers movie is a bad decision. Do you think the Russos know that? Do you think Kevin Feige knows that? And do you agree?
Okay, so I agree with you about X-Men because we've seen them die so many times.
Yeah.
I also think, the swan song that is Deadpool and Wolverine was very effective, and we didn't get to see them, and I think they were originally in it. I think Deadpool and Wolverine was going to have them. All the dialogue that Hugh Jackman had without visuals, I think had visuals. I think they're not maybe one-to-one, but I think the original intent of that script was to say bye to the X-Men. I think they realized they needed Doomsday, and that was when that became a multiversal incursion with the X-Men in it. I think you need to scale up with Secret Wars, and that's where you bring in your Ghost Rider, your Daredevils, and I think we do get all that then. I think you might save Tobey, and I know this is a leading theory. I think you might save Tobey till Secret Wars because you need the spectacle and what's going to be bigger than Doomsday, if not all 3 Spider-Men, if not both Ghost Riders, if not, bringing back somehow Ben Affleck agrees. I think they will kill people. And I thought they were going to do an incursion right at the top of the X-Men until I saw, like, Florence Pugh fighting Rebecca Romijn. And I was like, whoa, they're clearly in this shit. Yeah. Like, the worlds clearly coalesce. So I think it would be controversial to kill Toby, but I don't think it would serve the 2 films. If this was one film, I think they'd do it.
They could kill him off and then bring him back in Battle World or something.
But then that'd be that'd be even worse. Because then it would undermine. It would end it, undermine it, make us sad, and then it'd be like nothing matters.
But legitimately, if they do it and the outcry is so, they might rewrite Secret Wars in
real time. How crazy is it? Secret Wars is out in a year and a half. Like, how the fuck are they doing that?
Yeah. They haven't started production.
Do you think that stays where it is? Because I don't know how that movie...
That's a great question.
How does the movie come out in a year and a half?
But
like,
you can't,
how does any movie come out in a year and a half?
But you can't delay it, because if you delay it, then you have to delay X-Men and Ghost Rider and Black Panther 3 and whatever is MCU post that.
Because X-Men is 5 months after Secret Wars.
When is Secret Wars supposed to come out?
Next Christmas.
December of 27.
So it's August. That movie's out in a year and a half.
Yeah.
Did they previs so much that it's just going to be like actors standing in the spot they've already made the background of? What is that? What could that be? So I don't know if you can. Like, they couldn't have really changed a lot of Endgame at the point of Infinity War. I think likewise, Secret Wars can't be reactionary to Doomsday. I think it can't change now. So like, I don't think you can have Toby. Anything that happens in Doomsday affects Secret Wars, except for hoping that the people love Doomsday. Yeah. Another reason business versus show is very different for the impact.
Yeah.
I think business-wise, they're both good. But also, I also thought of more sports. Conor McGregor just fought, and he literally twisted his leg in the opening 15 seconds of his big comeback fight. Like, this was the most anticipated fight in the history of the UFC. He'd been gone for years. He is the most profitable person of all time.
In his last fight, didn't he break his leg?
Yeah.
So his last 2 fights were just like, I'm going to sit down now.
Seems like a lot of parallels to how people perceive the MCU. Now, that's not where the MCU is. The Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts experience both were amazing, but a lot of people haven't been since Endgame, haven't been since No Way Home. The perception is what we're talking about, not the actualization. I feel like Conor McGregor doing that and that fight still making all that money is why Secret Wars, no matter what, will make a lot of money. Like, people are always going to be like, worst case scenario, what's the underdog comeback? Best case scenario, holy shit, that was great. It's the show I'm worried about, not the business.
All right. We will end it on this.
Well, okay.
Because I just saw this. This is fascinating. The first 2 days of ticket pre-sales for Avengers Doomsday are 65% higher than the ones for Spider-Man Brand New Day.
It's gonna be fine.
That is absurd.
65%.
That is crazy.
It's gonna be a crazy Christmas.
Did I answer your question?
Do you think killing Toby's a bad idea?
Yes, and I think they know better, but I still think they might do it. I think they shouldn't, but I think they might. Is that because
sure.
I definitely
You think he's going to be in Secret Wars?
Yes.
Okay.
So therefore, they shouldn't, because I think they need that for the growth. I think there's a 99% chance he's in Secret Wars, but they better not kill him twice, and that would really undermine every appearance of him.
Yeah.
So I think that the rumor is false, but if it happens, I would just be like, someone made a bad decision. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it would just, because there's no way to fix it.
I think I would be upset about that.
I mean, understandably.
Yeah.
I think few things are sacrosanct in comic
Toby,
books. You know what I mean?
Toby is one of them.
That's like, for me, it'd be Andrew. Like, I need Andrew and Toby and Tom together in Secret Wars. And if they killed Andrew, and I feel like they'd be more likely to kill Andrew, because they'd be like, oh, great, he's back. He's the Spider-Man that corner likes. But he's not Toby.
He's not Toby.
Whereas, like,
royalty.
We still need the three of them.
Yeah,
so
they're all royalty.
Yeah. So, they better not.
Yeah.
But
we'll see. All right, well, guys, thank you for watching. We got a whole episode with Coy on the Patreon.
It may be out as of right now, or it may be coming out this Friday.
Yeah, it might already be out, so go check. But we're going to do Spider-Man Agree, Disagree. We're going to do a couple brackets. Coy, where can they find you?
You can find me at Coy Jandreau, CoyJandreau on YouTube. I have been growing my page with fervor. I have put out almost a video a day for a month, and a lot of that has been X-Men long form and just like done, polished, pretty. I've done fan casting for X-Men and why the characters work a certain way. I've done how I'd bring in the X-Men. I've done my
good video.
Thank you. I've done my X-Men like basically based off my pitch on this pod. I'd been thinking about this for years, and I was like, wait, people give a shit. So I made a whole video about it, and then I did my thoughts on the casting to reflect my original pitches, and lots of Doomsday coverage, and Lanterns is out, so lots of Lanterns coverage. You can also find me on DC Studio Showcase.
Yeah,
and I can tell you guys here, these gentlemen will be appearing in mere weeks. So
I didn't know we could announce
I
that.
hope we can. They can't fire me yet.
See you all on HBO Max.
I am very. I mean, I think if there was ever a time, it'd be me coming on to be very proud of you guys because that was so much fun.
It's a good episode. It's Batman, right?
Yeah.
It's all
So
Batman.
stay tuned for a very special Batman episode with these gentlemen because it was so fun to have you guys in that environment because I love coming here because this is like such a welcoming, nerdy, you guys are so well prepared space. So I was like, come to my land of HBO, and we got to geek out about Batman. So they're on the show.
They had a green room, they had catering,
you guys had hair and makeup.
Hair and makeup. We are on a card table using iPhones.
And yet I make time to be here every time.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
All right, let's go to the Patreon.
Yeah.